The top story we've been following today, of course, is Canadian real estate. We're getting the numbers in from Canada's biggest cities for the month of December. It was Toronto's turn today. And, of course, another record December for another housing market. Not all home types, are the same. Let's bring in John Pasalis, president of Realosophy, to join us now. And first, John, to have this kind of activity in December. Yesterday, I was speaking with Steve Saretsky out of Vancouver. He said he was closing a deal, not that he wanted to, but he was closing a deal on Christmas Day. What happened in December?
Yeah, unbelievable turn in the market. I mean, a really rapid acceleration. I mean, I think it's a couple of things. I mean, I think people who were looking at low-rise homes, really there was just this urgency to buy. They felt like if they didn't buy by the end of the year, they're never going to afford a home, and it created a very competitive market. And then, towards the end of November, we saw a real big increase in demand for condos, largely driven by investors wanting to jump back into the market.
So the investors, right, this becomes key, because I looked into these numbers and I thought, I got to talk to John Pasalis about this, because we did see a huge jump in the volume of sales for Toronto condo apartments in December, yet prices were down 5% year over year. So it sounded like definitely a market that favored the buyer, at least the condo market.
Yeah, definitely still favoring buyers. I mean, the price decline year over year is kind of what we've been seeing. I mean, it's really prices that have declined since the peak back in February. So there's not a lot of big new declines, but the buyers have seen that downtown prices are down about 10% since the peak, and they're seeing that as a buying opportunity to jump in, and are just optimistic that the downtown condo market is going to be recovering sooner rather than later.
Can we have both recovering, or not even recovery, a recovery in the downtown Toronto condo market, yet continued strength in the suburban single-family home? Because this is what has sapped the strength of the condos, right? People moving further afield, getting bigger houses. I keep talking to people in the industry, say, we think the single-family home strength will persist. Can we have the two of them at the same time?
I mean, possibly. I mean, what's happening now, and it's really interesting, is that, the rental market is still very sluggish in the downtown core. And it's the investors who are just more optimistic, and they're jumping in. Even though rents are still down about 20%, they're jumping in because they believe that rents are going to rebound pretty quickly. So again, it's effectively the investors that are kind of setting the floor on prices right now. And again, it's just really driven by optimism that the downtown core is going to rebound sooner rather than later.
So obviously there's a lot of investors already in the market in downtown Toronto. And you and I have discussed this over the years, but it used to be not to be a little further afield. The fact that you buy a property, you think it's going to appreciate forever. You don't mind being, negative cash flow month to month to month. Do you see more selling pressure from people who were already in the market before the pandemic?
Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to see a lot of selling pressure. I mean, the investors who are in the market were holding tight when rents fell. A lot of these investors who own these properties bought them, 5, 6, 7 years ago, pre-construction. So they're probably not cash flow negative. I mean, they bought them at really, much lower prices. So even with these lower rents, they're hanging on. So I don't see a lot of kind of distressed sales happening anytime soon. And again, I think the fact that rates are well below 1% is kind of really what's driving investors, because even if cap rates are really low for condos in the low 2% range, they're still making money, and it's really driving what's the big demand in condominiums right now.
That is really, incredible when you take a look at what had happened. And of course, these are the December numbers for Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto. We didn't hit that deferral cliff either, right? Because that was one of the things we were watching. It's like, okay, people were given a break on their credit card payments and their mortgage payments. Watch it when they have to pay again. And that seemed to just sort of blow over as well. Yeah,
it did. I mean, I think the one positive, thing to take away from that is, I do think the stress tests that have been put in place have really helped stabilize our economy. I mean, at the end of the day, people are getting mortgages at an interest rate of qualifying close to 5%, and today they're paying, under 2%, and this has been going on for quite a while. And it just tells us that a lot of people are, can manage their homes or manage their payments. We did see a bit of a deferral, during the sort of the lockdowns, but that's kind of faded away, and a lot of people are managing and holding on to their homes. And of course, accelerating house prices also is helping with that as well.
John, it's always great to get your insights in these matters. Look forward to many more chats this year.
Thanks for having me.